threeers? Welcome to week 3. Hope everything's good so far. I want to welcome you once again to a new week, and of course, we are brought to you by a random fact of the week, which happens to be a cat fact. Let's check it out. Cats can make over 100 vocal sounds, while dogs can only make 10. Ay. I don't know about you, but oftentimes you're trying to sleep and those cats are so loud outside. Especially when the cats are in heat, they are loud. But I digress. Let's take a look at our docket here. So as you can see, we have our second current event due Sunday, which is the 14th. And we have our first peer review workshop. So let's get into it. Let's take a look. So here we are. All right, here's the link for the current event too. Next, I want to show you how our peer review workshop is going to work. So we're going to do a peer review workshop for both this paper, our major one, and our last one, which would be our research paper. And let's talk about the particularities. Number 1, a rough draft is something that should build off of the brainstorm that you did, right? That was the first assignment. So we are following the order of the writing process. So with the rough draft, it's just like what you would imagine. You are just having a hand and at trying to write your paper. Just try to write. Just write the paper. Just start it. I ask that you please write at least 2 pages. I do know that our final length requirement is at least 3.5 double-spaced pages, but at least have 2 pages. And the thing about peer review workshops, the thing about rough drafts, is that there's no such thing as a perfect first draft. I'll say it again. There's no such thing as a perfect first draft. Get that idea out of your head and just write. Just give yourself the permission to, as crass as it sounds, but just vomit your ideas out, no matter how disjointed or all over the place. That's part of the writing process. Just write. Just get started on it and just write and try to have, please, at least 2 pages. And in terms of the logistics, I ask that you please post it by Wednesday by 11:59 p.m. The way to do that is simply through this link. You just submit it. And what's going to happen is that the Canvas system will take every submission that it got and it will randomize it, and it will give out 3 drafts to look at to every person that submitted a draft in of their own. So in order for you to get a draft, you have to submit a draft of your own in on time. Remember, this is something that you can't use the late homework pass on because it happens in real time, and Canvas is programmed to give the 3 drafts only to those students who submit one of their own. So remember that. You have to get your rough draft in on time in order to get the 3 drafts from your classmates and to participate in this, okay? So I want you to consider these things. Oh, sorry. One last thing. Once you get your 3 classmates' drafts, I ask that you please leave your feedback on them by Sunday by 11:59 p.m. And I'm going to show you how to actually do that. But before doing so, here's some things I want you to consider. Remember, this is a textual analysis. You're looking at a cultural artifact. Essentially, you're doing this, right? What's the larger message of it? How does it reflect it? How does that larger message connect to real life? And why is this message important, right? So obviously, they need to make it clear in their thesis what their artifact is. Is it a movie? Is it an episode? Is it a book? Remember that you have to choose something that is nice and narrow. Don't choose an entire series of Naruto or Twilight Zone or all of Star Wars. Choose one movie, right? One episode. So you can help out your classmate if maybe they've tackled on something that is far too broad. And yeah, so remember, follow this, guys. What is the larger message, larger takeaway? How does the artifact reflect that? How does that message connect to real life? And why is that important, right? Okay, so one other thing too that you want to watch for, guys, there is a pitfall in this assignment, and that is if you only give a lot of summary. Like, the assignment is not so much, let's say you're doing Lion King. In the Lion King, there's a cub lion named Simba whose father is king, is named Mufasa, and Simba is destined to be king one day, but he's not sure, and he has this journey. No. You don't want to summarize. Yes, you can bring in plot points of your artifact if it supports your larger project. And what is your larger writerly project here? Your larger writerly project is demonstrating that whatever you said is the larger takeaway is indeed the case, and you're demonstrating that by saying how it reflects that, right? So is it through maybe what the characters represent, or maybe some symbolism that you see, or I don't know, you tell me, right? So that's the writerly project, and you want to watch for this as you're reading these drafts, that your classmate isn't just offering so much plot, right? So watch out for that. We want to have more analysis than just summarizing the plot, right? That is the nuanced detail to watch for here. All right. Basically, that is like, if is it supporting that larger project. And, you should have a works cited page because you are choosing something, right? Another source that's not from inside your own head, right? All right. Now I want to show you how to actually go about leaving the comments for your classmates. Here, I'm going to make this a little smaller here. There we go. Maybe move the mic out of the frame. Just go like that. All right. So I have already submitted one as a sample student, right? And I want to show you what it's going to look like from your end. Additionally, my dear 103ers, you're going to see in announcements a video that I am including for showing you how you are actually going to access the drafts when it gives it to you. This is current event. How did it even get here? Okay, let's go back. So this is important to note, guys. After you submitted in your draft, this is important to note. 1 minute after the deadline, the Canvas system will distribute the 3 drafts once again. So 1 minute after the deadline. So right on Thursday, May 11, right at 12 a.m., it's going to distribute the drafts. And you can check your announcements for how to access it from your end. So let's take a look here at what you're going to see from your end once you get the drafts. Here's a sample one. Pay no attention to the actual content. I just want to show you the tools. So to get credit, you have to do two things. Number one, mark up the actual prompt, the actual draft here. These are our tools. I just want to quickly go over the tools. This one's to expand, as you can see. This is the cursor. This is to zoom in, obviously. This is for the bubbles. Like, you can write comments here like, hey, that's a good point. This is if you want to highlight. And there's always colors that you can choose from. One thing to note too is that every function here gives you the option to leave a marginal comment by just clicking this icon that looks like a page, right? This T is for a text box. If you want to have a text box, make sure to transition. I don't know. Okay, this is for a text box. Once again, you can always play with colors. This one is if you want to cross something out. Maybe this is extraneous, so you want to cross this out. All right. This one is literally it's like a brush, right? If you want to draw arrows or anything like that. This is if you want to make a box around something, right? I don't know, this is such a powerful paragraph or something. Anyway, those are the tools. So once again, to get full credit, you have to mark this up and you have to leave your classmate a comment. Just like in a real life workshop, right? When we're in person, you mark up the classmate's draft, but also you don't want to be Napoleon Dynamite, right? I always tell my students that after writing the comments, you don't just say, Here. It was good. And then walk away. No, you sit down and you talk to the person about your comments, right? So the translation of that is leaving them a comment here. So say, hey, Maria, blah, blah, blah. You can either type it out or do my favorite, which is leave some media, right? Did you see what I did? Click this icon that looks like the YouTube thing. So you can either record a video, start recording, and one thing I recommend too is that you have this open on another page so you can see your comments, so you can remember, right? You can say, hey Maria, I looked over your draft and this, that, and the third, and also have open to this one, right? The things to consider is mainly you're watching for if they are indeed drawing out what's the larger message. Watch out for the pitfalls of just summarizing, right? If you don't want to do video, if you just want to do audio, go here to webcam, go to no video, and this will make it so you leave audio feedback. All right, so whether you choose to leave a comment that is written or one that is media, it's all good in the hood. And with that, please do that by Sunday. I know this is our first draft, and logistically it's like brand new, but you'll get it. It's okay. Let me know if you have any questions, and other than that, peace out guys, have a good week.